George Michael interviews.
You released this book, George Michael Bear, that you co-wrote with Tony Parsons in 1990. I was wondering if you'd read this page that you wrote and signed.
Okay, I'll read it. My name is Yorgos Kyriakou Panayotou. That's really how it's said.
It's wonderful.
Yorgos Kyriakou Panayotou. To the outside world, I am and always will be known as something else, but it's not my name. As a boy, I haven't read this for ages.
I know.
As a boy, my biggest fear was that my huge ambitions would stay just out of reach of the child I saw in the mirror. So I created a man in the image of a great friend that the world could love if they chose to, someone who could realise my dreams and make me a star. I called him George Michael, and for almost a decade he worked his arse off for me and did as he was told. He was very good at his job, perhaps a little too good. Anyway, shortly before I was approached with the idea of this book, I decided that his services were no longer required. He went quietly, didn't make a fuss. I know many of you will think that that was a strange thing for me to do, but believe me, he really had to go. And if you can't think why, then read on.
How do you feel about that, reading
It
that
says
now?
at the bottom, I didn't remember.
Yes.
Then it says at the bottom, P.S. I think I may hang on to the name though.
George Michael is one of the biggest selling artists of all time. From the early days of Wham to his debut solo Grammy-winning album Faith, he proved to us that he was more than a pair of tiny white shorts and perfectly trimmed stubble. He was an icon that left us too soon.
What would you describe as harder, the road towards success or success itself?
Oh, the road towards success wasn't very hard for me at all. I didn't really pay my dues. You know, I left school and within 9 months had a record contract. The way out was fun. It's all the other things that happen after that are not necessarily so fun. But I have no real complaints about... my only complaints about my life have been about personal tragedies, stuff that is really not involved to work at all. I really have no complaints about being a celebrity. I think that everything is a balance, you know, and I think my life's been very extreme. I've had incredible highs and incredible lows, but I certainly wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it at all.
When Wham disbanded, and I know that that was a very hard period for you, you said that it's the first time you experienced rejection.
Yeah, it was, really. I think I was just becoming increasingly lonely because of the success and because I was too young to know what to do with the success.
You've always given Andrew the credit due to Andrew. I mean, you said that he was very important, and you also said at one point that he is one of the most important people in your life. He sort of helped you form what you are doing today. Do you still feel that way?
Oh, absolutely, yes. He influenced me in lots of ways in terms of... It took a while to kick in, the stuff about style. But he influenced me in lots of ways that are kind of not really easy to explain,
Yes.
you know. And he brought me out of myself in a certain way that probably no one else in my life would have done.
Therefore, you wouldn't have been able to start with a solo career. You needed somebody
No,
with
I
you.
needed an apprenticeship,
Yes.
definitely. And Andrew made that apprenticeship much easier and much more fun.
What was the scariest part about going solo after that?
Touring, no question.
Really?
No question, yeah. Touring is the scariest and most lonely experience that I think most musicians go through, but only if they're solo artists. The whole circus is revolving around you, and even having one other person, like with Andrew, having that one other person there, the circus can be around both of us, but we have each other to look at and say, you know, it's like, oh my God. Whereas when you're on your own, no one can really get it, you know. No one can really understand that.
You had a recent episode in your life where you were caught in a compromising situation, to say the least. You came out and you spoke openly.
I don't feel any shame I feel stupid and I feel reckless and weak for having allowed my sexuality to be exposed this way, but I don't feel any shame whatsoever, and neither do I think I should.
You felt the need to say, yeah, you know, I did this.
Well, it was the need to come out and say, so what? No one's hurt, nobody died. All of this attention is based around the fact that I'm a famous gay person. Whether they've speculated or not, The media has been desperately trying to prove that I was gay for a long time. But having been arrested in that situation, I just thought, what's the point in trying to hide anything? It would just be the old cliche, poor man, you know, he's so closeted, he has to go to public places to find sex or whatever, you know. And it's like, that just wasn't the case. It wasn't the case, it wasn't me. I never had been bothered about my sexuality. I had been bothered about privacy, and that had been ripped away from me. So as the privacy had been ripped away, it was like, well, okay, you might as well know who I am.
Where did you get that sort of dedication, that confidence in yourself to know that the decisions you were making were right?
I've always felt like that there was this kind of guardian angel just for my career, because I certainly don't seem to have a guardian angel in any other respect, but my career has always been something that I've had absolutely no questions about, no doubt as to what the next move should be. I think the rest of my life, God has just decided I could fumble along just like everyone else.